Very few things in this world I will ever call a weed. Here are some examples. Let's go. This is a wineberry bush, or as I like to call it, a raspberry bush that wasn't held enough as a child. Observe how they have these thorns all along their stem. They can only be gotten rid of by uprooting them completely. The only redeeming quality they have are the berries they produce. Quick update, I've identified the snake in our yard as a black rat snake. Turns out it's actually kind of nice. But still be cautious, my friends. Notice how this bush has vines growing on it with heart-shaped leaves? These are known as morning glories. They produce very beautiful flowers that have an upside-down umbrella look or a trumpet look. But no matter how hard you try, you'll never get rid of them. Some people sell morning glories. Do not buy morning glories. They are evil little demons, don't forget that. These are known as Forsythia. They're more identifiable by their yellow flowers, but they aren't blooming right now. Those same yellow flowers are their only redeeming quality in my mind as well. They spread via root and by the ends of their stems. Forsythia is another trickster that makes you think that it's good, but it's not. Although every part of a Forsythia is edible. See these giant vines? They're known as Bittersweet. Eventually it produces a shiny red berry. This one still has one clinging on. Another reminder is that Bittersweet is very, very poisonous. Do not eat its berries. These little buddies are known by many names. My favorite one is Hijacker. I know it might be a bit hard to tell here, but it has these little thorns that make it so that it kind of sticks to your hand and everything else. Right now it has these little white flowers, but eventually it'll produce small green seeds like these. They like to cling to your clothing, so check for those. Also, another friendly reminder, even though some animals aren't poisonous, such as the black rat snake, they still can be dangerous, and it's best not to upset them. I don't know how I'm still finding so many Speedwell. It's been really lucky lately. In case you were wondering, no, I do not refer to Speedwell as a weed. I just felt like mentioning that I had found more. This is poison ivy. Do not touch it, do not come near it. Just avoid it all entirely, because it will cause contact dermatitis, and most certainly do not eat it. It will cause serious effects if you do. This is Virginia creepvine. It doesn't cause contact dermatitis all the time, but certain people are allergic to it, so you should still avoid it. Quick pause for a little joke. This is a dogwood tree. How do you know if it's a dogwood tree? You can tell by its bark. My father could not walk past a dogwood tree without making that joke. The joke is true. You can identify it based off of its bark quite easily. I like to think of them as dragon scales if you need a reminder. For reference, these are bittersweet flowers. Don't even think that the flowers are edible. Don't eat any part of bittersweet. It is very, very poisonous. I do not consider this to be a weed, but here's a little side note. This is also a type of Speedwell. That type of Speedwell is a lot smaller, and it is also white, unlike its blue counterpart. You may be wondering, what is this gigantic plant? This, my friends, is a pokeberry bush. Do not eat any part of it, the berries, the flowers, the stem, the roots, any of it. All parts of the pokeberry bush are poisonous. And from what I've heard, it only takes 2 pokeberries to kill a living child. It has yet to produce any flowers or berries because it is not the season yet, but it will eventually. When you crush the berries, on the inside it will look like a magenta color. The berries do have a use as dyes, but besides that, they don't have much of a use since you should not eat them. The berries will look round, somewhat shiny, and pretty much black or a dark, dark purple. Also, I forgot to mention this before, but the wineberries are completely edible. They're just like raspberries, maybe a bit more tart. They also appear pretty much identical to raspberries. A Forsythia bush can get about that big as well, but it normally stays those tiny vines unless you let it get any taller. As you can see, I've been fighting the Forsythia bushes for a little while. If you didn't know, fish love to eat creeping Jenny, and it is absolutely hilarious to watch. That's pretty much all the plants that I consider weeds. If you think some other plants are weeds, feel free to share.